All right, I'm going to try to record this video again. Hi, kids. Do you like violence? This is your boy, your man's homeless, failed artist, content creator across social media. Feel free, to go ahead and leave your negative and bad comment, crapping on homeless people below. Anyways, today's a kind of a different kind of video I wanted to do real quick. Try to get through this before 27 people come walking up all of a sudden. So today I'm doing kind of a movie review. It's currently free on YouTube. You can go check it out if you want. It's called Prisoners, and wow, what an amazing film. I didn't really prepare notes for this because I wasn't going to put too much time and investment in it. I just wanted to really kind of do a quick movie review and a quick thing, and then throw it out there for people to go watch and check out. Because I really love the film, and the film was really, really, really well done and really good. Primarily because of the storytelling, the narrative. It, basically has these red herrings that it drops along the way, or these clues, or these leads that just lead you down these twisted paths where every step of the way you kind of feel like you know what's going on, and it's like, aha, I figured it out. And then it completely turns it on its head whenever you get done and toward the end. And I first have to say that Hugh Jackman's character, first off, it starts out with a narration by Hugh Jackman, and he's doing an American accent, and he's doing a blue collar worker kind of guy accent. And as soon as you hear it, at least for me, I was like, that's Wolverine. That's Wolverine, dude. That's Logan. That's Wolverine from the X-Men series. And and I don't know if this crossed over with Deadpool 3, if he was shooting that at the same time. This movie was actually done a long time ago. I don't know if he was doing other X-Men movies at the time, but I want to say maybe it was 2013 it said it was, but it's a brilliant, brilliant film. And I somehow had never heard of it. Somehow I had missed it. When I seen it on YouTube and it was for free, I was like, oh wow, like, what is this? Let me check this out. So essentially the plot is that two young girls during, I think it was Christmas, they were having a family get-together between Hugh Jackman's character and Terrence Howard's character. They're the father of these two young girls. And both their families are friends, and they've all grown up together, yada, yada. And then they go in, and then they are having their Christmas get-together, family get-together and whatever. And the two little girls go back to their house, or go back to Hugh Jackman's house to grab something, and they get abducted. And the parents tell them to get your brother, get your older brother, and he'll let him take you back, and he'll walk you back to the house or whatever. And that's when they get abducted. And the movie from that point just goes into this whole realm and spectrum of course, you as the viewer, you're like, you're just sucked into this whole narrative of these two little girls getting abducted. And as it goes, things become morally blurred, which these are the kind of stories I love, is that the narratives that make you challenge like your moral assumptions, your moral stigmas, your moral biases about certain things, and challenge them in the best way humanly possible. And it's such an emotional attachment, because I think a lot of people get sucked in when it comes to a story about a child or a kid being hurt or something like that. It'd be a lot different if it was like the older kids who were abducted. And these are little girls. These are little girls. And I think a lot of it, too, it plays on the narrative of what we usually see when it comes to child abduction movies like that or something like that. Is we're worried that it's like Gone Baby Gone was a brilliant film, but it had raw depictions of child exploitation and violence, which was really hard to kind of see when you get to that point in a movie, and which makes the turn even more palpable. But in this film, there's a couple of performances. Everybody does a brilliant job in this movie, but there's a couple of performances that are just, mind blowing. Terrence Howard's performance as the dad who gets kind of pulled into something that he, as a friend and as a father, is just, you could see that he's like, okay. His wife, who was in the Suicide Squad, which I loved her character in the Suicide Squad, and some of these people I don't have their names written down because once again, this was kind of a off the cuff kind of review because this movie last night when I watched it on my phone was really, really striking. And once again, it's free on YouTube for the moment. Don't know how long that's going to last. But if it is, by the time you see this video, or even if you have to pay for it or stream it, I highly recommend doing it. Because Jake Gyllenhaal's character, for example, the detective, the police officer, he does such a raw and amazing performance in this movie, and it's believable because you see somebody who is jaded or numbed to what is happening and what he's witnessing. And there's a lot of things in the job he has to do to where you could see it slowly chipping away at his mind, that the pressure of this and the problems, because essentially he is kind of not really a superstar cop, but he is kind of a cop who's really well known in the department as of, he's solved every case that he's ever been on. And that's what the chief kind of tells one of the mothers. And it's like, and you hear that and you're thinking, oh, well, he's, whenever it's come down to murders or something like that, he's found the person alive, or when it's come down to child abduction, he's found him alive. And it's like, no. But anyways, and starting from the get-go, the character that played the Riddler in the most recent Batman movies, or the actor, don't know his name, but in this movie, this probably was what got him the role of the Riddler. I think it came out before the Batman, the newest Batman, but that's probably what got him in this role because he did such an amazing and brilliant job in his performance of this man with, basically the mentality of a 10-year-old. And when it goes into what happens to his character and everything, and like I said, just this movie takes your moral biases and stigmas and your emotion toward what happened to the little girls and your emotional investment in those characters, and completely manipulates that during the entire film. And all of your stigmas and everything like that about suspicion, certain suspects in a crime or something like that, it really throws that at you and leads you. When you get toward the end of this movie, you start to realize that there's a lot of things that you were morally biased and sure about and stuff like this. And then by the time you find out the truth, it's like, oh my God, like you were sure this is what the story was, and you were sure this is what was going on, and you were sure but slowly it chips away at that, and slowly it introduces new things. And there's even and I'm not trying to spoil anything for anybody, and I'm not going to, but there's a scene toward the end of the film where you'll see it, and I don't know, maybe it was just me at the time, but by that point in the film, you're so emotionally invested in a story, and you're so amped up, and the suspense is taking you so far that when this moment happens, and then another moment happens later that is relative to that moment, you completely forget what you saw in that previous scene, because the writer and the directors and stuff like that knew how to pitch perfect manipulate the audience to a point where they showed you what happened, but yet if you're that emotionally invested in this, you're going to forget that. And then, that was the one thing about it I forgot. And then all of a sudden that comes up, and then you see this, and then you forgot, oh, they showed me that earlier. And why didn't I remember that? Because that would have made sense, and I wouldn't have gotten so emotional at this moment whenever some things are revealed to the families. So I cannot recommend it enough. The Prisoner, or Prisoners, Jake Gyllenhaal, Hugh Jackman, Terrence Howard, the other cast, everybody once again did a brilliant job in this movie. Even the young adult actors in the movie who play the older siblings did a great job. And it completely emotionally wraps you in. And, going back to the thing about Hugh Jackman and his voice, he's kind of, as far as an American accent, has kind of been shoehorned into sounding like Wolverine. And I know Wolverine's Canadian, and he was doing a Canadian thing kind of, and whatever, but it sounds like Wolverine to me. So, but with that being said, I would think this would be an awesome opportunity. It would never happen, but this would be an awesome opportunity to kind of retcon this movie and be like, this is when Wolverine had bouts of amnesia and the character completely forgot this life that he led with this family and these kids and stuff like that. And you would have to get rid of some things like him being wounded in the film, of course, but maybe Wolverine's powers were neutralized at this moment. So, but either way, you could take that character in that movie and then slap Wolverine on it, change a couple of scenes and a couple of things about it, and it would be beatless, because his voice is that. I mean, and really, Hugh Jackman, I think that does a disservice to his acting in America, playing an American role. If you look at things like where he's doing a British accent or an Australian accent or something, it's completely his natural voice or whatever. Um, it's completely different than anything, but just with that American accent, or at least that certain one, it just came so close to Wolverine, for me at least, to where it's like, yeah, this is Wolverine. As soon as I heard his narration at the beginning of the film, it was like, this is Wolverine. Like that's Wolverine. But he does such a great, amazing job. Like I said, all of them doing amazing work in this movie. And this is a hidden gem, apparently, or something, because usually movies that end up free on YouTube um, usually never got a lot of notoriety. I don't know if this is one of them. I haven't looked it up, but apparently it did. And it did get recognized for its amazing storytelling and the trips and the twists, and just the ending is just 10 times worth the watch, because everything just gets flipped on its head in a span of how many ever minutes, and it's just brilliant. So anyways, that's a review. Please follow me. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Please check out the description of the video. There's donation links there if you want to help me continue and support my works and help me through homelessness or unhousedness or whatever you want to call it. And if you want to leave any positive, negative comments below, what did you think of the film? Do you recommend it? What did you not like and what did you love about the film? Thank you so much for watching. You guys take care and have a great day.